Welcome to the series of videos on pipe network productivity tools for AutoCAD Civil 3D. In this video, we'll discuss the settings dialog. Pipe network productivity tools has a lot of different settings and they're down to filtering for each one of the commands. And so to access settings, you find the settings gear on the About panel. Upon opening settings, you'll see that there's a left side with a bunch of icons. If you hover over the icons, the flyout will show you which command that icon is referencing. You can also use this arrow key here on the bottom left-hand side to stretch it out and look through the settings here. Now, there are a lot of different commands within pipe network productivity tools to help you. And so they do use some kind of global settings and then individual command settings. And we try to put the majority of the commands all within here. There are a few one-off tools that use their own settings, dialog, and saving their settings separately from this overall settings dialog here. But the majority of them are all included in this area. And so we've called those out in videos so that you can find those alternate settings for those specific commands. But most of the time you'll be coming back to this. Settings do save to your drawing overhead, and so that allows you to set up your templates and utilize Pipe Network Productivity Tool settings, save them to your template, and allow users to pass settings around to each other that way within their drawing. So if you set up a tool to work a specific way and you get into a drawing and it's working different, check the settings because it could be getting carried over from another user. It could be specific to this project that the reason why those settings were done in such a way. And so that is a helpful feature, but I can also see it as being cumbersome for some users not wanting it to work the way they want it to work. So always come back and check your settings. Now, a few other things in regards to settings. You do have the ability up here in the upper left on the gear to export your settings to XML. And so that will export all Pipe Network Productivity Tool settings out to an XML file. You can import that XML file and bring it in from another resource out wherever you want to save that, and import it into a drawing if you don't want to put these into a template. You can also import settings from a DWG file, and you would select this and pick that DWG file, and then those settings would come in. So if you have a project set up and you like that setup and you want it to work in this one, then you could do that easily. So always look for that is helpful to translate settings between drawings. Let's talk about global settings. Global settings here, we have selection methods and how the selection methods work. You'll see that in another video. If we scroll down, we have command defaults. So a lot of commands within Pipe Network Productivity Tools utilize elevation mode. And so within here on this global settings, we're controlling how we want the command to operate. And so you have 5 different elevations you can pull from a pipe within Civil 3D. And so that's where these values come into play. For our slopes, we have 2 options for slopes, and that's decimal and percentage. So you can pick which one you want on your global settings here. For precision, you have the option of leading zeros and trailing zeros. So what precision do you want these down into? And the last section is abbreviations. So if you're labeling something to the top of pipe, how do you want that abbreviation to come in? And so you have those options there. The next tab is ribbon settings. You can control some of how the ribbon works, recalling last command or not, those kinds of things. I've had a few users ask for those, and so that's where the ribbon settings come into play. Now, as we step through each command, you can either pick them on the left side or you can hit next. It is a tabbed function, so you can go previous and next and all that. What you'll see here at the top for this command feature line from pipes, this one, we're asking, do you want to use the global settings? That's coming from this tab here. So whatever this elevation mode was is defined in your global, but you may want to override it for this specific command. So you have that option to choose to override it. If you choose globals, this is disabled, and it's going to fall back to whatever the global value is set to. If you choose override, then you get the option of saying, I want my feature line to always pull from the top of the pipe. And it would do that for that command. And then you've got other settings within here that are specific to this command. So as you browse through, you'll see this quite a bit utilized as we get into different commands. And so you can browse through all that and hit apply, and again, those settings are going to save to the drawing. Up in the upper right, we do have a help access with some about information, the training videos access here, which can also be accessed from the support palette over on the same about tab. We do offer training videos on that, and those are currently being updated. But yeah, those videos are there for you to access, and we try to keep them, between 5 and 10 minutes long for each command, so that you can follow up and read and understand how each tool works.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and be sure to check out our other apps on the Autodesk Exchange Store.